Welcome to Beyond Our Focus. I'm Stefan, this is Amanda, and this is What's in the Box for December 21st, a Friday. The end of our week, and the end of this day.
Yes, and the last Friday before Christmas. Christmas.
Yes, technically, yes. The last Friday before Christmas.
Yeah.
Can we get through Christmas?
Can
we just get through Christmas?
2018 has been a rough ride.
It's been something, all right. We have some fancy. We have some tea.
Vanilla chai. What do you think?
It's pretty good. It's good.
It's
hot. It's good.
Yeah. We have Ritz crackers, and then we have sugar-free orange cream vanilla wafers, or just wafers. I'm so used to calling them vanilla wafers. I don't even know what they'd be called.
I feel like they're vanilla wafers with orange cream sugar. I mean, that's what they look like.
Orange cream. It doesn't even say what they are.
They're wafers, okay? They're wafers.
It literally just says orange cream baked with real orange. So we're just eating orange cream.
Sure, why not?
Oh, now in little things it says wafers way over here.
Well, they are wafers no matter what.
Yeah. They smell really good though.
They do smell good. Ooh, they
it's
smell
like a dreamsicle.
It tastes good too. That's pretty good. I'm not gonna complain. It's pretty good.
I always liked how light they were. Like how light and refreshing.
Light and fluffy.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty tasty. I've never had the orange ones. I've had the chocolate ones and the strawberry ones.
Mm-hmm.
How are these?
I've had the vanilla, the chocolate, and the strawberry.
Chocolate and strawberry, good.
I like these ones because most of the time when you eat them like the off-brand kind, sometimes the cream's like oily. Like I don't know what it's weird. It leaves a weird feeling either on your tongue or on the roof of your mouth. These I'm not having a problem.
These are super fluffy, just nice and soft and nice. They're tasty.
Brand deal. It is Voortman.
Sure, yeah, why not?
Voortman Bakery.
Not a brand I am aware of, but yeah, it is what it is.
Dollar General.
So, what have we been watching for the last week? You've seen more
Nothing
than me.
Nothing new.
You've seen all kinds of things.
Nothing new.
Nothing new. You watch things, just nothing
Yes.
new in theaters.
Yes. So far this week, I ended up watching An American Tail. Very good movie. All Dogs Go to Heaven 2, because the first one makes me cry too much. And watched The New Guy last night, which is one of my favorite movies. At least comedies, like one of my favorite comedies.
I can't. I've seen, I think, pieces of it. It goes a little too far into the ignorant side of comedy that it's too much.
I love it. It's hilarious.
Same reason I just refuse to watch Dumb and Dumber. Seeing pieces of it, I'm like, this is just, it's too dumb.
I have never really gotten to the Dumb and Dumber thing. I don't know what it was, but for some reason DJ Qualls, I just like DJ Qualls as an actor. What? Did you ever watch, I know that you didn't really, you watched The Walking Dead, but you weren't really into it. Did you watch the other zombie one?
Fear?
The comedy one that they did. It was like it was more humorous than The Walking Dead. They didn't do that one. I'm just saying, like, it was on the same, what would happen, it would be The Walking Dead, and then during the summer, it would be this comedy one, and then it would be The Walking Dead again.
I have no idea what you're referring to.
It was...
unless you have a name, I have no idea what it is.
All I remember is that, like, when they would kill a zombie, it would be, they call it giving it mercy, or,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Z Nation. Never heard of it?
That name sounds slightly familiar.
Okay. Well, that was, it was pretty good. And then DJ Qualls played a guy who was pretty much trapped. I don't remember if he was in Alaska or something. He was pretty much trapped out in an isolated, snowy area, controlling all the satellites and stuff. So he was watching what things were happening. and trying to lead these people from point A to point B.
Okay. Yeah, I've never heard of this show.
Oh, okay.
Not really.
Well,
like I said, the name kind of sounds familiar. I didn't know this show existed. So.
No.
And granted, I really liked the first season of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I just kind of feel it got boring and then repetitive, and I don't shows like The Walking Dead, because I knew it was going to be like that, because I'd never seen the comics. I just started watching the show. Shows where anybody can die anytime do nothing for me. It's like, I don't like that concept, because I like following a story and getting to know characters. And yes, of course, you can kill off certain people here and there, but knowing that the entire cast, at some point, you're going to lose your favorite people and things like that, that nobody's really going to make it to the end, it just does nothing for me. It gives me nobody to root for or care about. And if I can't care about the characters, why am I watching the show?
That makes sense.
So that, and also Game of Thrones has real famous about killing people. The only reason I watched Game of Thrones is because I knew spoilers. I knew who made it to the 7th season. I think the 7th. I think it was the last one. 6th or 7th, something like that. I knew who made it. So I'm like, okay, I knew who I can root for. So I knew certain characters made it. So I'm like, I can go for those people and I get to like those characters because I know they're going to last at least till the last season.
Yeah.
So that made it more enjoyable for me, knowing I had someone, not being like, oh, everyone's just going to die. Because spoilers for season 1, the most interesting character in season 1, Sean Bean's character, because he just loves dying, dies off like 2/3 of the way through the first season.
I don't know who Sean Bean is.
You
Not based by name.
you seen Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, my brain was not answering your question. It was cycling through characters and trying to figure out who he was.
He wasn't Eric. He was the other human who said one cannot simply walk into.
Yeah.
That's Sean Bean.
Okay.
And almost anything Sean Bean has ever played in, he dies. He's infamous for dying in everything.
I'm trying to think of who he played in The Walking Dead.
That's talking about Game of Thrones.
I don't watch the Game of Thrones.
I don't care if you watch it. I was just telling you in general. I said spoilers for season 1 as just.
Yes, and you didn't say which show. So how?
I did. I said Game of Thrones. Pretty sure I said Game of Thrones.
No, you did not.
She wasn't listening.
No, all you said is spoilers for season 1, and then you just went directly into it.
I'll find out in the editing.
Yeah, right.
You know the truth right now. I'll find out in the editing.
Yeah, he's gonna
Or I'll
forget.
totally forget it. It won't matter. But anyway, Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. His character dies in the first season.
See, that threw me for a loop. I was like, what the hell?
He's great, too. He is fantastic. He's a really, really great character. And if I'd gone through the first season not knowing anything, and they just killed off my favorite character, I probably would have quit watching it right then.
I literally only watched like the first 2 episodes of Game of Thrones. Of course, I didn't really have access to them, but...
Well, Sean Bean being the main character. Kind of in the season 1. He's the father. He's the main guy. He's great in that. Until he dies.
All I remember is the kid saying things he shouldn't have seen and getting pushed off the tower or falling off the tower.
Yeah, that happened too.
And then them trying to come after the kid and him having a giant wolf that protects him.
Big wolf.
That's all I remember.
Yeah. All accurate things. So, yeah. Looking forward to the last season. Just to see it and be done with it. Robert loves Game of Thrones. Him and his girlfriend both love Game of Thrones.
He's the one that you made the throne for, right?
Yes.
The charging throne?
Yes. Which was awesome. Pretty happy with that, personally.
It turned out well.
So, yes, he loved it. Loved show.
It's like I want to watch it, but before I didn't have access to it, and now that it's out everywhere, like you literally can rent it from Redbox. I think now, like
it's possible,
a part at a time.
It's uber popular, so.
But Chad doesn't like fantasy stuff. Like he can watch somewhat a show thing, but it's just not his thing.
Doesn't like fantasy, huh? Does it mean he didn't watch Game of Thrones? I mean, Lord of the Rings?
I don't know if he did. Like, I really don't.
Okay. Sure.
He just said it's not his... He just said it's not his thing. He watches war stuff, mostly.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Which is literally not my thing. I will actively avoid war shows and movies for the most part. They really have to have a certain draw to them to really get me into the seat.
I really liked Fury. Fury was good.
Fury was good.
Saving Private Ryan was good.
I haven't seen them in a long time. God, what's the name of it? Nolan movie? No, not Normandy. What was it called?
Oh,
I know.
Dunkirk was good too.
Dunkirk, yes. Dunkirk was really good. I did really enjoy that. But it was done by Nolan, and I had no choice but to watch it.
Hacksaw Ridge was another good one.
I disagree.
Yeah.
I just didn't like the main guy.
Goodness.
I don't like him as an actor, and I didn't like his character in the show. Well, I mean, to a degree. You have to respect him to some degree, but still, it's just, it's a movie I don't ever have to see again. So.
Yeah, I only watched it once, but... See, I can only watch most of those movies once, or spanned really far out. Except Fury, for some reason. I have no problem watching Fury. But, no, that's just... It messes with my head. That's depressing.
Well, war movies, again, aren't my thing. So, even Dunkirk, even though it's Nolan, even though I thought it was a good movie, I don't ever have to see it again.
But you're like that about a lot of movies, where it's just like, you see it once, you don't have to see it. You're like, eh. I like rewatching movies.
I like rewatching good movies.
Oh my goodness. I like going back and watching movies I haven't seen in a while, and being like, oh, hey, actually, this isn't, like what I remembered it. It's either really bad compared to what I thought it was, or really good. But either way, give it another chance.
Yeah, good movies. Things I enjoyed watching the first time.
Oh my goodness.
That's good to rewatch. Movies I was like, that was good. It's the war movie. I don't need to see that ever again. I'm also fine with that. I saw it for what it was, and that's all I need.
I have like that, like Murphy's War. I don't really need to see that one again. It was interesting. But,
I know you said Murphy, and I just automatically thought Interstellar.
Oh, no.
Because her name was Murphy in the movie, so... which she got made fun of because...
Murphy's Law?
Murphy's Law.
Why does that sound familiar? Mm-hmm. Insert comic.
It's kind of the running theme. Whatever can happen, will happen.
So, what have you seen?
The only thing I can even remember, even though I feel like I've seen something else. I feel like I have, but I can't remember anything. So, all I've got at the moment is I watched Die Hard. Good old Die Hard. Me and the wife are going through a lot of Christmas movies. I say a lot. We've only seen 3 at this point. So, but... Die Hard. Good old Die Hard. That, and I don't know if I mentioned last time, of course, Home Alone 1.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. So, Home Alone. One of those movies I enjoy, but also one of those movies that I don't really have to watch over and over again. It's like my wife's favorite Christmas movie ever. She loves Home Alone. And I'm like, it's fine. It's a good little Christmas movie. But one of those movies I really, like I said before, I don't really have to see that movie again.
I like watching it, but it's not one like I can watch every...
Yeah, I do love Joe Pesci. He's such a great actor. So funny. And he does play one of my favorite comedies.
Okay, so did you ever, because I had told you about it, did you ever look up the parody thing that they did? The parody that they're making off of Home Alone? No, I have not. Okay. I believe it's like Macaulay Culkin. Okay. So, it's their studios. I guess he has a studio or his family has a studio. I don't know. Either way. They are doing kind of a parody of like all the kids and stuff from the original one grown up.
We talked about this last week.
We were talking about it I think at work at some point.
I think we were talking about it on the show last week.
Sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. But, they're doing that.
One of these days I'll check it out.
It just looks ridiculous. It has the guy from... Do you remember the movie Step Brothers?
Which guy from Step Brothers?
No, I'm just saying, do you...
Yes, I've seen Step Brothers.
The douchebag brother. The one with, like, the slick black hair and the...
Oh, you mean the older brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
He's in it, I believe. I can't remember which kid he plays. Of course, Macaulay Culkin's in it. Looking as rough as he has been for a while.
I take it Joe Pesci doesn't make a return?
No.
Oh, does? They really get him too, huh?
Both of them.
Awesome.
Yep, they're released from jail.
He's great.
But, I think the only Christmas movie I've watched so far this year is... We were in the living room and the Charlie Brown Christmas movie came
Never
on.
seen Charlie Brown.
No. Ever? Or just that Christmas movie?
Any Charlie Brown. I was never into Charlie Brown. I've seen a few of his little like comic strips. That's it. That's the only touchstone to Charlie Brown I have.
I was sitting there watching it, and Cad's like, you know, you never really realize how horrible these things are when you're younger. I was like, shut up, it's a classic. But, the other thing that I randomly put on the TV while I was doing something else, and it was on this kids channel. So these random things were playing. One of them was, it was claymation. It was about a rat who apparently was robbing people and everything like that. And then he gets lost in this cave and decides he doesn't want to be a robber anymore and makes his way out. But it was narrated by, oh my goodness, it's not, what's it narrated by?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
That's not helpful.
That one I don't know. The next one, sorry. It's like, it's right there, but I can't think of it. The second one I watched was about a stick family that lived in a tree, and one day the stick man goes, it's literally called the stick man, and he goes out for a jog, and he gets swept up in this giant, like first a dog wants to play with him, and he's like, why doesn't he realize that I'm stick man, I'm not a stick, I'm not a fetching toy. And then it keeps going like that, like people using him as a sword, and people using him as a snowman arm, and stuff like that, till he's like really far from home. But that one, the main voice was Martin Freeman. He played the voice of the stick man. Then the one after that was about a witch on a broom, and the witch's voice was actually Gillian Anderson, so Scully from The X-Files.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was narrated by Simon Pegg.
Yep. It was Simon Pegg.
So it had a nice little cast thing going there.
Yeah, really good. For whatever this was, it
Yeah,
seemed
like
to get some good actors there.
The first one was claymation. The second one and third one were like CGI. Mm-hmm. But they were all really well done as far as like the look of it.
Where'd you see this at?
It was, I just randomly turned on the TV and it was a kids channel. Or something like that, like
on,
PBS
Netflix
kind of thing.
Because I'm like, this sounds interesting.
No, it was like PBS kind of thing, kids channel. But no, they were actually all really good. I mean, yes, they're kids ones. They're geared more towards kids. But it wasn't so stupid like, Stickman ran a block. Stickman did this. No, it was actually a story. So, what?
Stickman?
But no, like, because it's like any kind of kids show, it was repetitive to where he was like, he's like, I'm not a stick, or like, I'm not a toy. Why can't they see? I'm Stickman. That's me, and I just want to go home to my family tree. And so, like, horrible things happen. And
go eat green eggs and hams.
Yeah. So, if you like Dr. Seuss, no. But no, they were actually really good for kids programs.
Well, again, they seem to have some pretty high-profile actors in there, surprisingly.
But now that I rambled on about kids shows, I want to watch Christmas with the Cranks. That's like one of my favorite Christmas ones. As far as the non-classical ones, just I like Tim Allen.
Tim Allen's great. He's always been great. Yeah, I don't like Christmas movies. I'm like, I have to see I don't really have a lot personally. Well, speaking of children.
Segue.
Cheese pretty good. Whew, today's rough. It's just rough. It's just like it's hard just to move forward. But speaking of children,
opinion time.
Opinion time.
Where we tend to piss people off.
Well, that's what you gotta do. My wife's niece, who's 14, wants to cut her hair. She wants to get it's not called an undercut. She said it was called something, undershave or something like that.
Is it where the duck butt?
No. She just wants to pull her hair up and shave the back of her head.
Dude. Okay, go ahead with your story. I'll tell you in a minute.
No. Well, that's what she wants to do. She'd also like to diet, but school won't let her diet, so that's probably out of the question. But she wants to cut it, and her mother, my wife's sister, says no. She's not going to allow her to do it. This is the rule. She will not let her do this. And I'm just really on the fence of like, why not? It's hair. It's just hair. Who cares if she cuts her hair? Worst case scenario, it looks terrible. And, well, it's just...
Lesson learned, right there.
Lesson learned, but also, it's undershave. The long hair covers it up anyway when it's down. So, what does it really matter?
Will add, not that this is a factor for everybody. It was just something that I threw out during the conversation. Is that she does have natural curly hair. Meaning, if whoever cuts her hair cuts it wrong... or shaves it.
Yo, we mentioned curly hair, but she does not have curly hair. She does not. Neither of them have curly hair. Did you see their hair?
Yeah, girls straighten their hair. You do realize this, right?
Did not have curly hair. And now if all you're going to ever do is straighten it, who cares? It doesn't matter.
Either way, all I'm saying is that she does have curly hair, and if the person does it wrong, which of course if they're shaving, it's not going to matter anyways. If you cut a curl wrong, it will never grow back the same. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned a story on here before where my brother... I had like really big, beautiful curls when I was little, and my brother hacked it all off in a closet. And when my mom asked why did he do that, he's like, I wanted a little brother. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But no, what I was actually going to say is that if that's all she wants, one, you live in the South. That nice thinness is going to help. It's going to feel nice. Especially coming from someone with thick hair, yeah. Two, I don't consider that a haircut. Because what would happen when I was younger is my hair would be so long that when I'd brush it, I wouldn't brush under here because I didn't like how it pulled. So I'd complain and it'd get tangled up and I wouldn't want to brush it. So my mom would just get tired of it and she would just lift up my hair and shave the back of my hair and then...
I don't think it's like a little bit. I'm thinking...
No. I mean, like, literally, it would be that entire bottom layer would be shaved off, so every time I'd put my hair up, it'd look like a porcupine in the back, except as it grew out. So, yes, like, to me, that's not a haircut, because that's just what I had to go through.
Well, still, it's still...
But being that it is her wanting to do it, then yes, it would be considered a haircut.
Yes, and I don't think it's an issue.
I don't need to. She's 14. She wants to do something different to express herself. I don't see the problem with it.
Because there isn't a problem. And I guarantee if one day she went to school and she just came home and it was cut, what's her mom want to do? What is telling her no going to accomplish that if she decides to be slightly rebellious, she's going to do it anyway? It's cutting of the hair. It's literally not a big deal. And if the school, which I think the school's dumb anyway, if it doesn't let you dye your hair.
That's normal.
Well, I didn't go to your fancy public school.
I'm sorry that you were a hermit at home. Okay.
I still think it's dumb.
Well, it's just like workplaces. Technically, our store...
Yeah, because they really follow that rule.
Yes, but technically, our store, we are not allowed to have And
I also think
natural color hair.
And I also think that's dumb.
Yes.
It's like, you know what? Let's really impose a standard because everyone must be judged on their looks.
Because technically, even in our rule book at work, it says no visible tattoos.
Yeah, I know, which is also completely and totally ignorant.
Yeah.
Come on. We're not in like the 1850s or something? I mean, yeah, I would understand if you got like naked women up and down your arm. Okay, just for the sake of children coming into the store, maybe let's have that covered up. But come on. Tattoos, colored hair, people just expressing themselves. Is it really a big deal? No, it's not.
But yes, I assume she just thinks that at 14, her daughter doesn't really know that she wants that decision, I guess.
This is my thing, even more so. It's like 14. It's not like she's 8. She's not like she's 7. She's not like a super young kid. She is in her teens. 4 more years, she'll be out of the house.
Not only that, here's another thing. One thing we forgot to mention is she's a twin.
She is.
So being that maybe she wants to be different from her sister. What's wrong with that? Like, they've been the same looking for this long in life. Maybe she wants to be separated.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And eventually twins do that. Most twins don't keep the exact same look throughout their entire lives. Most of them will do something different with their hair. Maybe dye a different color. Maybe cut it off a certain way.
In the end, you kind of want your own personality, your own you.
It comes down to, it's like, maybe it's like she's... didn't you say she's starting to date now, too? Or wanting to date or something like that?
I think she wants to date.
Yeah. And it's like...
I should think her parents are being strict about that, too.
Yeah. And it's...
Which is weird, because they let their older daughter, Laura, date when she was 13.
I don't know. But, it's one of those things where it's like, maybe as she's getting to that age where she's wanting to start to date, she's wanting to be her own individual person. She wants to be with someone who's not going to be like, oh, well, actually, I like your sister better. She looks like you. I mean, it works. Yeah.
No, I just don't see an issue. Figure we bring it up here. I had an opinion which nobody wanted to hear over dinner table.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to hear, especially my wife.
Oh, yeah.
Like, can I not express my opinion? Because I have one.
Well, yes, in the end, it is the mother's decision. It is between the mother and the daughter. But if it's going to be brought up in the conversation, opinion should be...
Yeah, in the end, it is the parents' decision to whether what happens, because it is their kid. But, again, in my opinion, with her being 14, it's like, at some point, you gotta let the reins go just a little bit. You gotta give them little. Because otherwise, I mean, if you stay too strict for too long, that will turn into strong rebellion, and there will be a lot worse than her cutting her hair. Personal opinion.
Or if you're not willing to open up about talking about dating, if you're not willing to at least have that conversation with them, or at least be okay, then it's going to end up that, now she's sneaking out to date people. Mm-hmm. She's going to have relationships only at school.
Mm-hmm. That will happen. You cannot control anyone completely. Just doesn't work. So, we thought we'd throw it out there. What's your opinion? 14, you think she should be able to cut her hair how she wants?
I mean, if you feel one way about the dating than you do about the hair cutting, it doesn't matter. Just whichever one you want to bring
chime in on?
Yeah. But otherwise, we actually had a lot of different topics going on this week as far as things that were attention-catching. Like, for Tuesday, we had our Breaking Prisms episode, which was about dying in your dreams.
Yes.
And then we had our Would You If yesterday, where it was, parallel universes.
Yes.
So I think that would be fun to actually go deeper into those to kind of play with them a bit.
Yeah, we wanted to try to make the dying your dreams of what you if. Just couldn't think of something to make it interesting for us to talk over.
Really, the only thing you could talk about is would you live in a dream world if you could die? That would be the only.
But I look at dream worlds, and if it's your dream, you control what happens in your dream, especially if you're very self-aware.
Yeah. But as I said, like, even in lucid dreaming, technically you don't control the dream, you just control your actions in the dream. But that's
But
lucid,
if you're living in a dream.
But that's lucid dreaming, not living in a dream. We're not doing the whole... It wasn't just Inception. There was another movie that played with this. I don't know. What dreams may come?
Great movie. Kind of depressing, but great movie nonetheless.
So, how do we want to go about that? Pretty much, let's just talk about dreams in general as far as, like, do you have many dreams where you die in them?
No, not in a long time.
Not in a long time?
In my feverishness of whatever last night was, I dreamed a couple times. Don't remember what they were about, because I didn't pay attention to them. But no, I haven't dreamed about dying or going death in a very long time.
What about the dreams where it's like a sudden stop, like falling?
Again, very long time.
Oh. Do you remember what it felt like as far as like...
Terrifying?
Yeah. Like the falling and then you wake up and you're just like, whoop.
Again,
Like
terrifying.
that jump start.
Terrifying. Because that is when you wake up sweaty and it's like, oh my god.
I like the sensation of falling dreams, but not death dreams. Oh my goodness. My worst ones are zombies.
Never dreamed about zombies.
Like, I don't even have to think about anything zombie or watch anything zombie. But if I'm just having a rough week, if I'm just, sometimes it will happen at random, I'll get these weird zombie apocalypse dreams. And it's like, sometimes I make it through, and sometimes no. And just being, like, still being asleep, and having these things start to try to rip at you, and you're not waking up and before they actually start to get to you.
Yeah, never even close, not even once. Nope. I can't remember any dreams I've ever been injured in.
Okay, Superman.
I'm
calm
just
down.
telling you. I don't ever remember actually being physically hurt inside of a dream.
Interesting.
But it's also that thing of like, don't they say there's like no sound in dreams? Do they? Can you hear things in dreams?
Well, I hear dialogue, so...
But I don't know. It's odd. It's dreamy. I don't know how dreamy. It's weird. I mean, I hear things in my dreams.
Yeah.
I think I hear something in my dreams, but...
I mean, yes, because it's in your head, you'd think there would be no eye. It's kind of like when you're thinking about movies and stuff, even though you know what that movie sounds like, obviously you can't hear it, but you just hear it. Like, it's weird.
It's weird.
It's weird to explain. Have you have you ever been sleeping? You wake up and then you go back to sleep into the same dream?
No.
You have a very boring dream life.
Don't disagree. I love the idea of dreaming. I like being in dreams. No matter what, I've always enjoyed anytime I did dream. I like being in the dream. I like the idea.
Yeah.
I've always thought it'd be cool to actually be able to control and stay in your dream and do things.
Like, because even though I've had horrifying dreams, like terrifying, I still like the sensation of dreaming. Because it's like living a movie. But you don't obviously die in it, so it's like you're... I mean, there have been times where I've had, like, sleep paralysis?
No?
Well, that fucks with you.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard about it, but
yeah.
me personally, no.
But no, it's crazy, though, because you wake up, like I've literally had dreams where I've woken up, haven't been able to move, and things from my dream are starting to move into the area that I'm in, my room. So pretty much like things are in my room that are not supposed to be there, and I'm trying to scream, but there's no sound because everything, my entire body is asleep except my mind. So you're just like freaking out so bad. And then it's kind of like in movies where someone's screaming but their voice is hoarse, so it's just that, so like that squeak. That's all it is. And so you're trying to even do that. Like, I'll be like trying to wake Chad up, but I can't move. So it's, oh God. It's horrifying. Like, it's just...
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah.
One of the podcasts I listened to, the guy that used to be on it, said he had it. And he explained it in multiple episodes. And it's just, it sounds terrifying, but never personally had it happen.
I don't recommend it. I just don't, like... As weird of a sensation as it is, it's like being in a live horror movie, but I just don't recommend it.
No, I don't think I'd want to try it, Tim.
No. And then my sister used to have night terrors, which is pretty much dreams that are so horrifying, or you feel so horrified by them that you literally wake up screaming. So we wake up now and then because she'd be screaming, and we'd have to make sure that she's okay and like waking up from her dream and everything like that. But on occasion, she'd actually do stuff in her sleep. Like at one point in time, she was tangled up in her blankets, I think, and she thought she was being attacked by a snake. So she was screaming and everything, and then when we woke her up, she had ripped the head off of one of her stuffed animals. Like it was this little dolphin. She had just ripped it off because she thought she was trying to kill the snake.
You gotta get rid of things.
And another time is she woke up kind of semi screaming, and she had thrown a blanket over Nanook and was like, yeah. So, whew. Yeah, that was not a good one between her and I. Because it's like, I knew she was dreaming, but at the same time, I'm like, are you trying to kill my dog? Like, yeah. Dreams are messed up. I really like dreams, the discussion of dreams, the entire, yeah.
Very cool, but yeah, I can't say I don't dream often. I dream occasionally. Like last night. I don't remember they were about because I don't write them down or try to. Usually it's wake up and go back to sleep, and you forget what happens at all.
You should start a dream journal.
It'd be interesting.
I'd like to hear some of your dreams, since you apparently since you don't get injured, you don't die, you don't remember them often-ish, and apparently you don't fall anymore either. So. I would like to know.
But again, if I forget most of them, I can't tell you what some of has happened.
That's true. But no, because it's like I used to do that, and I've been wanting to do that again, is to actually write down dreams.
I would like to have more vivid dreams. It'd be interesting.
Imagination.
It's not going to help me at all.
You could just do lucid dreaming.
You keep throwing it out there. I don't really know what that means.
Lucid dreaming is pretty much where usually it's something you do. It's not something like where you're just dreaming, like you go to sleep and you wake up. It's something like kind of like deep meditation, or some people do put themselves into a state before they go to sleep. But pretty much it's just where you're in your dream and you are aware that you're dreaming. So that you're able to control what you do in your dream. Like, instead of watching a movie like dreams usually are, or being in a movie like dreams usually are, where you're running around and doing stuff, but it's almost like watching yourself. Lucid dreaming, you can actually control what you can make decisions in your dream.
I would have no idea how to work with that. I don't even know how to make that work. Google.
Oh, jeez. If any device in this house answers you, I am leaving.
Okay, Google.
My phone. See, that's the thing, is I don't have my phone set up to listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can actually hit my little microphone and say, okay, Google. But no, my voice, or it's not set up to listen to anything.
Oh, that's always funny. Robert used to like, okay, Google. I'm like, oh, it's so annoying. Can I just press the button? I would just much prefer that. I have Siri, but I don't have Siri to set up at all to do any of that.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
Then you have those people who just yell "Okay Google" in the middle of a room to see how many phones. But I saw something today where it was like I saw the post before where it was like different responses of like shipping companies, where it was like the first one was UPS, and it says your shipment will arrive this date by a driver named Bob, who will, drop it off at this location, pretty much. And then it said FedEx, your package will arrive when we get it to you. And then USPS, you shipped something. And then someone added to it Amazon, where it was, I don't remember what Amazon's was, but Facebook at the end was, so we know that you were just talking about buying a new toaster oven, so here's 15 ads for toaster ovens. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look, that happens. That definitely happens. They talked about that on one of the podcasts I was listening to. That's like, oddly, as soon as you start talking about something, magically you start getting ads for that something.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what, Google, Facebook, I need y'all to stop listening to everything I say.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's where we're getting, though. Technology. It's getting freaky. It's getting weird.
Because I remember when that first happened, and I was talking to someone either about a movie or I was talking to them about a certain product, like cat toys or something like that. And then I was scrolling through Facebook, and my ads were like, cat toys or Purina. And I'm like, dude, the fuck is going on?
Yeah, they're listening. They're always listening. They can listen. There's not a lot to hear. No. So
it's like by this time, if we literally say that I'm going to kill this person, by now they know us too well to be like, oh, they're serious. Because, I mean, if you watched any of our Would You Ifs.
Yeah.
Serial killers. The show.
Yeah, I don't know how much they actually are listening, but seems like they are, and if they are, and then if we start going towards more like government things, like let's ping certain words to watch those people, it starts getting where things start getting a little terrifying.
Eagle eye. But it's like, well, it's just like at work sometimes, and it's really weird. I mean, yes, we can call it coincidence, but sometimes it's just really weird because
it happens often.
Because a customer will either want a product and we say, I'm sorry, we don't have that, and it will appear on the next truck. The exact size that person needs and everything. Mm-hmm. And then, or we'll be like, well, we're out of this product and we're not getting more of it in, and then the next truck, more of that same product.
Which, unfortunately, it does fall into coincidence.
Yes.
It falls in, you tell enough people enough things, eventually one of those things actually will show up. But it feels weird.
Well, yeah. Because when someone's looking for a specific size of some obscure thing that we haven't gotten shipped in for ages, and it randomly appears on the next truck, it's like, dude, you gotta stop. It just weirds me out sometimes. Because it gives me that weird feeling of, like, the Belko experiment.
I didn't watch that.
No, it wasn't that great.
Well, I guess I'm glad I didn't watch it.
You didn't miss anything. But it's like, you just start feeling that you're not actually at a job that's, like, the company's not actually trying to make money off what they're selling. It seems like your entire thing is a social experiment.
Well, you explained everything perfectly then. Yeah. That is exactly how this is.
Yeah. Like,
because they're definitely not trying to make money.
But yeah, that's what it feels like. It's like, I don't think you're really worried about pushing the product. It feels more like you're wanting to see how we react in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Changing our entire process to see how, oh, we've learned that process, let's change it again. And just doing that over and over again, and it just feels more like we're guinea pigs.
Truman Show! Oh, that show really gets you thinking a little bit.
I love the Truman Show.
It was a great movie. But also makes you think, like, God, am I really in this social experiment? Am I really in this?
Someone, please tell me no one's made a TV show about my life.
It'd be real boring. But it's also, it's weird. It's weird.
Well, that's the thing, is that his literally was the same routine every day.
He didn't have an exciting life until he started recognizing things. That's when it got interesting. And then by the end of it, it's like, buddy, stay where you are. You don't want to go out there. You've got a pretty good life.
I don't know. Would you? Like, would you really want to live that same life over and over again?
It could vary, but...
Like, he tries to have a girlfriend, it gets taken away from him. He literally tries to have a relationship with anybody, and it gets... because he gets too close.
Well, for him, no matter what, you have to leave. Because you don't know what's out there.
Yeah.
But us watching him, it's like, buddy, you've got it good. You've got it good. You don't want to be in the real world. But such an interesting show. Just a great show.
I think it's on Netflix right now. I need to watch it again.
And they were brilliant. And that they traumatized him to be terrified of water.
Yeah.
The only way to leave was to go through water to leave where he was. So therefore he would never leave because he was terrified.
God, that was such a good movie.
It was a great movie.
If you haven't seen The Truman Show with Jim Carrey,
you need to watch it.
See it. It is on Netflix right now because I saved it to my list.
Oh, I need to watch it again. I haven't seen it in a while. It really is a great movie.
We actually watched it in school at some point, like in high school at some... I think it was in a reading class or something like that, but...
Yeah, what a cool idea for a show. And really well played. Now, of course, I don't know how you get through all the red tape of making a show like that, if it were to really exist.
I don't know.
Because you're taking a person who's completely unaware that they're in something, that violating how many human rights all to itself, and then you're paying someone to sleep with said guy. There's so many things about all this is just like...
Well, that's just porn stuff.
what I'm saying is, he doesn't know!
But,
At this point, it's like unknown prostitution.
It depends. Did they just sell their baby to this company?
But, again, can you do that?
That's
not legal.
What country? I don't know. And even nowadays, it'd be 10 times worse. You'd have like... Oh my god.
It's just interesting.
Everybody would have a heart attack.
Robert told me, because it was, and now I finally listened to it on the Philip DeFranco show. They're talking about there's a Chinese scientist who genetically altered like 2 kids, but I think one's been born so far. With have you ever heard of CRISPR?
Yes, that sounds
familiar. And
familiar.
go in and like it can remove and snip pieces of DNA and change things. Well, he genetically altered to remove the whatever gene or whatever it was that can end up leading to like HIV, to make it where it'd be impossible for him to get that. And the baby has been born, and now he's told people that he did this.
Oh, jeez.
The parents were aware, but the scientific community was not aware. That's really interesting. I'm like, my opinion, I'm all for it. Like, anything to move the needle. Anything to get further, and...
Well, not only that, but I mean, the parents were aware.
Well, that's why I'm fine with it. If they weren't, that'd be something different. But they were aware, so I'm fine with it. But that's also like, human trials on something that shouldn't or wouldn't be, and probably medical things that they wouldn't have done for decades.
Yeah, like.
But I'm also, again, I'm kind of fine with it. The parents were fine. They knew what he was doing, and they were fine with going along with it. So, and the goal is to monitor the kid for the next 18 years to kind of see if this affects him long term. And
not only that, but it's not like it's going to be like, okay, well, at the age of 16, we're going to inject him with HIV and see if it sticks. Like,
people are just worried about what removing that gene will end up doing to the kid long term, because maybe removing it may prevent HIV, but also they're saying it could have did other things that affect other stuff. It's like, it's interesting, but of course it's always comes.
And then the child has to find out he's a test tube baby. Which, I mean, I don't know. Progress for the sake of progress,
Well, I'm all for us. At some point, someone's got to start making the big leaps in scientific things. I mean, I saw a little article talking about 3D printing skin, bones, and body parts.
I've heard that too.
For like astronauts and stuff.
Yeah. For astronauts.
Mm-hmm.
That part I didn't hear.
No. I know what is it. Yep. That's right. Robert wants to play Fortnite.
Oh.
I know that's what it is. So, I'm all for us moving forward. I think we need to move forward. We got to start doing something to move forward. We can't just say, "Oh, that's taboo. We can't ever do anything with that." So
it's a weird thing. Plus, I mean, obviously, it's going to be touchy for some people because the child did not give its consent. Like, when it gets older, and if something happens, it'd be like, I never asked for this. And that's what people are upset about.
Mm-hmm. But, that's hard. It's a really hard decision. You can't say we could never experiment on children ever because it can't give its consent. So we'll never be able to figure out anything because we can't do anything. And the child technically belongs to the parents up until a certain point.
14.
They have ownership over another person because they had said person. So it's quite interesting. I mean, that, and they're talking about I think people are not what, but like cloning organs and stuff.
Yeah, I've heard that one too.
Yes, please. There are plenty of people that need organs, and that's so hard to come by that, yes, if it will help heal and fix and do things.
If it will help get people off these waiting lists.
Yes.
We have situations like John Q.
Yes.
Because, it's taboo to start cloning things. And it's like, no, we need this. Otherwise, you're going to sit there and wait for someone to either have the guts to try and help or someone to die. And hope that they're a donor.
So if we want to help more people, we have to move forward with taboo subjects in science.
And the thing is that a lot of people have actually, not a lot of people. I don't know how it is now, but I know it was when I got my license because I was young and stupid and followed the crowd thingy. But a lot of people opted out of putting organ donor on their license because pretty much it was a worry or a concern, or it was even talked about at some point, that if you were to get into an accident, something like that, you would be less likely to be saved or worked hard on to be saved because they needed your organs.
Yeah. Which is one of the reasons I'm not as willing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, if no matter what I'm dying, yes, I would help anyone else you can.
Yeah.
But if you don't know for a fact and you think possibly some help, but he's got good organs,
yeah, and that's the thing. It's like I think my license still says I'm not an organ donor, but
So I'm all for it, but I also want to live. So
yeah, Yeah, it's one of those things that it's like, is this a real worry? Does this happen? And I think that if it's going to take too much stress on your organs to try to save you and you are an organ donor, I think that it's possible they may opt to just
take the organs.
Yeah. Instead of, because there is resuscitating and just keeping you alive does put a lot of stress on those organs. And I mean, if you end up dying and now your organs are just fucked anyways, then it was useless.
Then they lose out. But
Yeah.
I would also prefer they do everything they can.
Exactly.
I do want to live. And that's another reason. Let's clone some organs. Let's do whatever we have to do. Again, if it is at all possible to say, hey, we can take a piece of your organ from your body and then clone it and then remove and replace. Yes.
Then it's repo. Repo, the genetic.
And yeah,
opera.
it might be expensive to do something like that,
Yeah.
but all for it. Let's do it. It'll help probably millions and millions of people.
Yes, it's like, but I'm sure there's people out there who are going to do the same. Like, if they're not waiting for someone to die so that they can get their organs, then they're going to be waiting for the money or hope their insurance somehow covers even a little small percentage of these, new organs. So it's like, either way, someone's going to get screwed over because that's the world we live in. And that's the sad world we live in.
Yeah, which goes to...
I'm a pessimist, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, that goes into... what is it called?
Is it the whole cure for cancer thing?
No, no. I'm talking about universal health care.
Oh, okay.
That I'm not necessarily for universal health care.
For all, yeah.
It's like, yeah, that sounds wonderful, but there's a lot of downsides to it.
To me, I feel like it is a positive thing, and it has been proven to work, but we have some shitty people in the world, and that's the only thing, is we have people who abuse the system. And being that if your work, because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't mind if I have to pay a couple, extra dollars in taxes if little Timmy over there can get his leg fixed or whatever. See, that situation I'm fine with. But if someone's not doing anything to try to better their life, and I'm sitting here dishing out my money to try to help them.
You have a small amount of people that would be helping a large amount of people and not really gaining a benefit from it.
Yeah.
And that is the issue. And there's also the pure issue of the government forcing and taking even more from the individual to give to the many.
Yes.
It's almost redistribution of wealth, in a way. And I'm not for that at all. We already pay more than our fair share in taxes.
And half the time we don't even know where it ends up.
No, the government takes it, does whatever they want with it.
And the other thing is, it's like, as far as that goes, with the taxes, the whole, people having to have health insurance. Having to have health insurance or getting fined for it.
Yes. I think is that still a thing that's going on? I'm pretty
sure
it is.
So.
Because I have health insurance only because of that.
Yes, because literally, when I first started...
that was part of the Obamacare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I first started at my job, I was part-time, and then when January hit, I became full-time. Or March or something, either way. So if March I became full-time, January, February, March did not have health insurance. But because I was making enough at this place, even part-time, I qualified in you can afford insurance now, but you didn't opt to get it. So you're now being charged those 3 months you didn't have insurance. And I did get charged those 3 months I didn't have insurance. I was pissed.
Well, it's the thing, is forcing people to do something. I'm not for that. Yes, health insurance is good.
Yes.
Forcing somebody to have health insurance, not good.
Literally right now, I know that it's important. I know that I should be, but right now I am...
But it also doesn't help that I don't really feel like the health insurance really helps that much anyway.
No. I'm currently paying for health insurance I don't use.
Exactly.
Like, maybe I should probably use it, yes, but half the time the people I do know who are using it...
They still have to pay!
Have to pay, are getting screwed over. Like, oh, well, technically your visit wasn't this because we did this one small test. So it's not going to fall under, like, say if you're going in for a basic checkup and you mentioned, oh, well, you know, my side's been hurting a bit. Mm-hmm. And they do a test on that side. It's no longer a basic checkup. And so they can write that and, oh, your insurance doesn't cover it in this category for free. Now you have to actually pay for it. And
that goes to where, like, why do I even have insurance?
Yeah.
Why?
As I said, I went to the ER, got told I had a sore throat, even though my throat was pretty much closed. I had a sore throat, had to pay a $100 copay, and then my bill came in and it was like $106, and my insurance covered $14.
Again, why do we have insurance? If the insurance isn't actually going to do anything, why have it at all?
Because you have to meet your deductible first.
Well, I'm aware. You have to.
But I don't want to die 5 times before you actually pay for something.
So, yeah, I mean, we need to figure out something to make this work. And yes, universal health care in some ways could be very helpful to very many people. But in another way, it's also screwing over a whole bunch of people.
Well, the thing about the insurance thing is what bothers me most about it is that they overcharge for emergency visits. Mm-hmm. When 9 out of 10 times why you're going to the hospital is because of an emergency. Like, I mean, most people, unless they already have a pre-existing condition, aren't going often enough for insurance to really matter. Mm-hmm. And plus, even if it is, it's a basic checkup, which is covered. So, most of the time you're going to end up in the hospital is because the world gone done fucked up.
Yeah.
And if you're getting charged more for that, I'll just die. It's fine.
It's cheaper to die.
Yeah. At least then my finances will go to somebody else. They can use it. I'd be dead. It's okay.
There needs to be a better way. But it also comes down to, like, oh, if I'm paying this much more in taxes and the government's getting this much more, I guarantee they already can't manage what they get from us. They already overspend on everything. We're already how many $1 trillion in debt?
The environment's not saying any of it.
Exactly. I mean, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, period. So why do I want to give the government more of my money to misuse it and not do what they're supposed to do?
Yeah, how do you really know that the money that you're doing for this healthcare for all thing is even going there? Like, it's kind of like when you donate to a charity and you're like, is it really going?
It really seems that most of them really are going where you think they're going.
So it's like, it's one of those things where, yes, why would you trust? They are already screwing up so much. Why would you trust them to actually do what they're supposed to do? Just because this country is making it work doesn't mean this country that is a little child with their money is going to actually be able to function.
It's just insane how many intelligent people we have that I guarantee could fix things. We refuse. The government refuses to try to get us out of debt. They really refuse. Because it's insane. And it also comes down to that America is very different from a lot of other countries. Like, I believe it's, what is it? Is it Sweden everyone always talks about?
I think so.
Sweden has the same amount of people as one of our states. It's very different to manage people. I forget how many they have like, I don't know, I think it's like between like 2 and 5 million people in Sweden. We have 350 million. There's a little bit of difference.
When they break us up into hemispheres.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, okay, Sweden, you're able to accomplish some things, and you've done a lot of good, and there's some cool things you're doing, but on the flip side, you're so tiny compared to...
Which is understandable, but it's like, how many years has this country existed?
No. God, we should. And I guarantee you...
Can we capitalize that and underline it about 6 billion times?
Yeah.
Should.
We have enough smart people that could figure out how to make things work properly.
But no one wants to listen.
Well, there's that. And I mean, it's just the government. They're going to do whatever they do, and nothing's ever going to get solved, and we're just going deeper in debt. Everything's getting worse. The environment's getting worse. Everything's getting worse.
I think the planet's just going to reject us. It's going to be the happening. The trees are going to release pollen. We're all just going to die.
Well, that or, again, Interstellar. That was Interstellar. It refused to grow things anymore. It said, we're not doing it.
Growing. See, I see nothing growing. I see, most likely weather changes, weather patterns we're not used to. Like, just the Earth runs in a cycle. If that cycle does not stay consistent, things get messed up horribly. So it's like places that need that nice rainfall and everything are not going to be getting them. Places that, maybe need a little less rain are going to be just drowned out. Like, the South down here where people's houses just suddenly decide to float away.
Yeah. Well, all that comes down to is the Earth changes no matter what.
Yes.
Are we increasing that change? Probably. How much? We don't actually know.
No, but I think the Earth is getting pissed off. Okay.
I don't know. We'd like to...
I'm sure if I was the Earth, I would be pissed off too. I'd be like, you've been here long enough. You're like that bad tenant who won't go away. That's it. I'm evicting you.
You should really listen to that podcast. The interview of Jordan Peterson. Because it was quite fascinating. And some of the issues he talked about, we're talking about right now. And he's a very smart man, it seems. And his solution to a lot of things was that if... I wish I remembered the interview.
No.
Well, his thing was, by making a population richer, as far as everybody, once you make enough money to quit really matter, it doesn't really matter how much, that you quit. Once you make enough money to survive, you start focusing on other things.
Yes.
Once you're like, I don't have to worry about if I'm going to be able to eat next week because of my job or whatever, you start worrying about the environment and everything else. Once you're okay, you can care about other things.
Yes.
So the more we can make the world a richer place, the better it's going to be for the environment and everything else.
Tell that to the people who are rich and don't want people on their level.
No, it's not even that. It's not being rich. It's being well off enough.
Well, no, I'm just talking about the people who don't want people to be well off. They just don't care. Because they feel, I'm special. I'm up here.
Well, it's not about them. This is as a country, as a planet.
I understand. Yes.
In general, we're a lot better off now than we were not too terribly long ago as a planet. Things are getting better. No matter how much doom and gloom we seem to talk here, things are getting better to a lot of degrees. There are things we need to work on even more so, and it would be nice if our government would actually attempt to do some things that need to be done, but...
It's like, it's so messed up on so many levels. Like, yes, it's like the government is doing its problems. We have, things happening within states that are horrible. Then we have even just our level, like how companies treat the people working for them. That's horrible. And it's like, it just keeps going down lists. It's in each section, change needs to happen.
Yeah, but the job industry isn't going to change. Because the only way for it to change is for them to feel threatened by something different. So unless another company comes in and is doing something better, that people just leave in massive droves to go somewhere else, they're not going to change to fix things because they're providing jobs. You can always go get another job.
Oh, yeah.
Not really. But, so, hey, they're providing a job. You chose to take on said job. Yeah, yes, I agree 100%. And most of the issues, as bad as it is, not even so much the company, it's certain people that are making things worse. Because most of my problems with workplace revolve around people and not the overall company, necessarily.
Mine is both. Because I do have problem with people's, and then I do have a problem with the way the company is run. As far as I understand certain processes, but I also understand that if you're not willing to open up and listen to the ideas of the people who actually run your fucking buildings, it's not gonna...
That's why I'm pretty positive that they're going to fail at some point. But,
yeah. And that's why I said this particular company...
What I'm saying is, I have more issues with people. Yes, the company is doing some dumb things, which has been on the downward spiral for a while. But if said people would just let things be and let people just come in and do their job and go home, things would be a lot better. It'd be tolerable. It'd be accepting. Hey, let me come in, do what I need to do, don't bother me, and I'll go home. But that's not how things go. People gotta be overly dramatic.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I think we've been at work enough today. Well, I have. Mr. Sickly.
Well, I was dying this morning, okay? I was dying. Oh.
Well, I think we pretty much rounded
that's...
nice little thingamajig off.
Yeah, that's a good place to end for this week. Been going about an hour and 10-ish, so... I guess we had to end on doom and gloom here. The world is terrible. Everything's horrible.
We had one conversation that was like super positive,
and we have not been able to get back there.
And then now we've just like animals torturing and sad and dying alone. Now it's people sad and dying alone. But we love you guys.
Yeah, we love all half of you that watch.
All half of you. They're a full person. You upgraded them.
And now I'm downgrading them again.
No.
I have to.
No.
I don't know why, but I have to.
Ignore him.
Encourage the other half to start watching.
That's their job?
I don't know.
If you're watching this, encourage other people to watch. Because I don't know why. This has been a week.
It has. It's really just been a day. And it's just... if you haven't figured it out, so just if you watch this week's videos, it's just been like... It's just a downward spiral.
From not knowing what shows we're on, to not knowing what day it is. Yeah.
It's been rough. It has been rough. But... as always, you can reach me at Stars Untraveled. You can reach Amanda at KZ Pup. Reach the show at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, podcast services. Go check out the other shows. Check out the comic. I'll always just try to pimp that comic out. Go check out the comic.
Share your comic with your friends. Share our comic with your friends. Or I guess share your comic too if you have one. Share
if
your
you
comic
have
with
a comic,
us. Yeah.
we would love to see it.
But share the comic with your friends. It's like what? A second, 10 seconds, something like that.
Well, the YouTube video, which I make into the comic too, they're like, I don't know, like 30 seconds or something. Or you can just, if you go to Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, just the pictures there that you can read at your leisure. Yeah. So, that's it. Subscribe, comment, like. Let us know what's going on. Till next time. Long days and pleasant nights.